these ancient extraterrestrials crash landed on Earth. They crash landed in Antarctica, and there is a lot of ancient structures on this continent, along with these motherships.
There are images on Google Earth that seem to reveal the existence of sort of like four-sided structures that from the air look very much like the pyramids, just like you would see a pyramid from the air.
Got a really unusual sighting here. It's a leucistic penguin. Rather like leukocyte, a white blood cell, this is a whitish penguin. Not fully albino because you can see a bit of faint patterning on the creature. But it's a very rare thing.
He's been to the Antarctica. I mean, inside of it, underneath it. Been given a lot of information with the SSP, interface with non-terrestrial beings.
Tell us about this city of the monkey god, which is located below Mexico, I think in the country of Honduras.
When the ice shelf loses this ice, it may then start to collapse. And if that were to occur, then the glaciers that feed the ice shelf could flow faster and contribute more to sea level rise over the next few decades.
This ancient city that was so buried under thick, thick jungle where nobody lived except these critters, and the people who went in there, they endured all sorts of things that could kill you.
High above the thick Honduran jungle, a lost city found. Archaeologists are excavating and removing dozens of artifacts believed to be from the mythical White City where an ancient civilization once thrived.
Antarctica has really become a major subject. One of the former military officers, Byrd, who fought a conflict near Antarctica and lost a lot of men, claiming that there were flying discs, flying saucers coming out of the Antarctica.
There have actually been people down there excavating these motherships out from under the ice that they were buried in for the past about 15 years or so. And they've actually filmed the whole thing. Documentary crews have gone in.
These structures or shapes, are they geological, the people are asking? Or is there something there? Is there pyramids? Not just one. I think some have said they've talked about possibly 3.
The Project Ice Worm, a code name for the top secret U.S. Army program during the Cold War, and they were building a mobile nuclear missile launch site under the Green Iceland Sheet.
But the reason they dared to go in there was because they used something called LIDAR technology, which means they flew over the area with one of these planes and essentially used something that's like sonar.
There's all kinds of evidence that is legitimate evidence that clearly seems to show that the Antarctica is certainly a base of some sort.
It's very interesting to note, very recently, in the past 6 months or so, how many notable famous figures have gone down to Antarctica randomly. Buzz Aldrin, John Kerry, the Pope, other world leaders have.
Because there's 3 structures that seem to have been found there, and they're about 10 miles inland and quite close to the coast. So it's quite easy, I'd thought, to send an expedition there to have a look.
Well, Project Iceworm was set up in the 50s to, as you said, set up secret nuclear launch silos. And this first one was set up in Greenland without Greenland's permission.
Could see through the dense canopy of the jungle, and it revealed structures down there. The forest was so dense, archaeologists could walk right over these and never know they were there.
The Germans also, under Adolf Hitler, had a base down at Antarctica. There's all kinds of things that are going on in this region of the world. John Kerry himself disappeared down to the Antarctica during the very day of election.
With these Antarctic ruins they're uncovering, and they've been filming, what these Luciferian Illuminati members are hoping to try and do is what's called the Antarctic Partial Disclosure Psychological Operation.
Going back to ancient times, the climate was totally different. There is an ancient civilization that they speak about that went back millions and millions of years, you know, and the people then were like telepathic super beings.
They didn't find out about it until we tried to put nukes in the base and crashed a plane at that location. It turns out that Project Iceworm was much more involved than just this one base.
Some of the names are like Vladimir Putin, Prince Harry, the leaders of a number of different countries, the Pope, and the Patriarch of the Russian Orthodox Church.
When John Kerry went down there, he goes to New Zealand right afterward, the head of the Eastern Orthodox Church, who went also to Antarctica on a very unexpected trip after he met with Pope Francis in Cuba.
They're trying to hide everything else, give us a slice of the pie, and maintain their control, right? They're going to have to give up what they wanted. What they wanted is to kill off 90% of humanity. They etched that shit into the Georgia Guidestones. They won't be able to do that.
They were like the old rishis and siddha yogis lived there. People that could live for many thousands of years, you know. And they still say that some of these people, like Babaji, who was written about in Yogananda's books.
They created bases all over Antarctica, which are very similar and but much larger. I think they're being seeded. People, the government wants people to start having Antarctica on the mind.
What you don't hear about is that there are countries down there monitoring Planet X, which is also known as Earth's second sun and Nibiru, because that rogue planet is approaching from the southern hemisphere.
Pope Francis gave him a secret document. Never was revealed exactly what was in the document, but it was the first time the two leaders of the both East and Western Orthodox churches had met together to try to mend their relationship.
Could it have been maybe that it was in Antarctica, when Antarctica was still green and fertile? You can find coal in Antarctica, for example. You know, so that shows there was jungle life there going back very deep into our history.
They're referring to a possible announcement that there has been a ancient civilization found under the ice.
I found somewhere that says that Dr. Vanessa Bowman said that go back 100 million years ago and Antarctica was covered in lush rainforest, similar to those that existed in New Zealand today.
Apparently in 1938 and 39, the Nazis had a pretty heavy expedition down to the Antarctic. And when they were down there, they found all of these ancient ruins.